How did a man end up dead 1,600 miles from home, who deposited $5,000 into his bank account? And what really happened to David Glenn Lewis? A man stayed home to watch the Super Bowl. Just days later, he was found dead 1,600 miles away. Nobody knows how he got there. Nobody knows why he left. And nobody knows who deposited $5,000 into his bank account the day before he died. His name was David Glenn Lewis, and this is the case that has never been solved. David Glenn Lewis was an attorney. He lived in Amarillo, Texas, by all accounts. He was an ordinary man, a wife, a daughter, a career, a life that looked completely normal from the outside. On the morning of January 28, 1993, he went to work. At noon, he told his colleagues he was unwell. He was going home, but he didn't go home. Confirmed records show he stopped at a gas station. He purchased fuel. Then, he drove to a local community college and taught a class until 10 o'clock that night. Whatever had made him feel unwell at noon had not prevented him from teaching that evening. Investigators have never fully explained why he said he was going home, but went somewhere else entirely. But investigators hadn't discovered the strangest evidence yet. The following day, his wife and daughter left for Dallas, a weekend shopping trip. Lewis stayed behind. The Dallas Cowboys were playing in Super Bowl 27. It was his favorite team. He wanted to watch the game at home. His family did not see him before they left, but it means no one saw David Lewis. After the night of January 28th, when his wife and daughter returned on Sunday, the house was quiet. The VCR was still recording. The game had already ended. The sandwiches were still in the refrigerator. The laundry was still in the wash. And on the kitchen counter, his wedding ring, his watch, left behind. David Glenn Lewis was gone. His wife initially assumed he had watched the game elsewhere, perhaps with a friend, perhaps at work. But then he missed 2 work appointments. She reported him missing. The same day, investigators found his vehicle, a red Ford Explorer, parked near the Amarillo courthouse. The keys were under the floor mat. His checkbook was inside. His driver's license was inside. 2 credit cards were inside. He had left his car, his identification, his money, and his wedding ring behind. Then investigators discovered something unexpected. On January 30th, $5,000 was deposited into his bank account. On January 31st, a plane ticket from Amarillo to Dallas was purchased in his name. On February 1st, a plane ticket from Dallas to Los Angeles was purchased in his name. Public records show it could not be determined who purchased these tickets or whether they were used. Then the case took an even more bizarre turn. February 1st, 1993, the same day Lewis was reported missing, a man was struck and killed by a car in Yakima, Washington. Witnesses had seen him earlier. He appeared disoriented. He was walking in the road. He had no identification, no wallet, no name. He was recorded as a John Doe. Yakima, Washington, is 1,600 miles from Amarillo, Texas. It is also considerably far from Los Angeles, where the plane ticket in Lewis's name would have landed. Official records indicate that in 2004, 11 years after his disappearance, the Yakima John Doe was identified as David Glenn Lewis. His wife, his daughter, had spent 11 years not knowing. This is where the confirmed timeline ends. What follows are the questions investigators have never answered. Did David Lewis travel to Dallas? Did he travel to Los Angeles? If so, how did he end up in Yakima, Washington? Who deposited $5,000 into his account? Why? Why did he leave his wedding ring behind? His identification, his credit cards? Why did he tell his office he was unwell, but then teach a class that evening? One theory suggests Lewis may have chosen to leave, to disappear deliberately. However, no evidence confirms this. Another theory suggests something happened to Lewis that caused him to become disoriented or unwell. A medical event, a psychological episode. However, no medical records have been publicly released. The exact sequence of events between January 28th and February 1st remains unknown. But one unanswered question changes everything. This is what the record shows. January 28th. Lewis left his office at noon. He purchased gas. He taught a class until 10 p.m. January 29th. His family left for Dallas. Lewis remained at home sometime between January 29th and January 31st. He left. His vehicle was found near the courthouse. His identification was inside. $5,000 was deposited into his account. Plane tickets were purchased in his name. February 1st. A disoriented man was struck by a car in Yakima, Washington. He had no identification. In 2004, investigators confirmed his identity as David Lewis. The cause of his disorientation in Yakima has never been publicly established. The case of David Glenn Lewis is not a simple disappearance. It is not a clear-cut crime. There is evidence of planning. There is evidence of movement. There is a financial transaction that has never been explained. And at the end of it, a man died alone on a road. 1,600 miles from home, disoriented, unidentified. His wife and daughter spent 11 years not knowing. The identification in 2004 answered one question. It raised many more. Someone deposited $5,000 into David Lewis's account. Someone purchased those plane tickets. And somewhere between Amarillo and Yakima, Washington, something happened to David Glenn Lewis. We know where he ended up. We do not know how he got there. We do not know why he left. If you have ever followed a case where the evidence existed, but the answers never came, tell me in the comments below. Because sometimes the only thing keeping a case alive is someone who refuses to stop asking questions. Somewhere, someone knows the truth. Until that truth is revealed, this story isn't over. Do you know another unsolved case with overwhelming evidence, but no justice? Tell me in the comments. Your suggestion could be featured in a future documentary.